Welcome back, Remodelaholics. We are still in the bathroom today getting things ready for the built-ins that we are planning to install in this wall right here. Be sure to check out that video if you haven't, with the link up above. Today I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish the drywall around the pocket door and around the hole that I'm going to cut in for the built-in. When we installed this pocket door, the drywall got damaged right here, so this is what I'm replacing right now. And because it's pocket door, I've only got like 5/8 inch wood here, but I'm going to use 1/2 inch backer board on this edge just to help hold the drywall in there nice and tight, since this is a pocket door, the wall's thinner and there's more vibrations. I had to make sure that I used 1-inch drywall screws here so that it wouldn't scratch the door when it opens and closes. When I installed the pocket door, I cut through the wall on this side, so I'm just gonna patch it right now. Got this patch and paint by DAP, and I'm gonna use this because it dries fast and then it's paintable within about 30 minutes. So I'm going to try this out on the space and get that started, and then I'm going to come back and start taping all the seams of the drywall. For the first coat, I used drywall plaster that sets up in 20 minutes because I wanted to have that set up really quick so I can continue on the next coat within the same day. I applied the mud with a 4-inch knife and an 8-inch putty knife, and then I put the tape on the wall and smoothed it out. After that was all dried, I went through and added a second layer to it with my 8-inch knife, and I made sure that this mud was a little bit smoother than the one before. So for the second coat, I'm just going to feather out the mud just a little bit further than where the tape was on the wall. At this point, I didn't want to do any more drywall patching. I wanted to get the hole cut in the wall for where the built-in is going to be, and then I would finish all the drywall around it. Right here is where the stud goes up and down on this corner of the wall. I'm just going to draw a line right up and down where that stud is and cut along that line, and then center the built-ins based on this first side. I like working as clean as possible, so right here I'm using my cutting tool and a vacuum right underneath it to collect all the dust from it. Now here's the other side drawn on the wall, ready to be cut next. So both sides of the opening are centered on the wall. Now we get to see what's behind the wall and make sure we don't have any studs in the way. Okay, I got the sheetrock cut out, and it looks like the previous owners put insulation in there just probably for noise barrier in the bathroom. But that's basically where the shelf's going to go, right in that spot. So now I'm going to remove all this insulation, and then I'm going to take some 2x4s, probably reinforce this edge right here and up on top and on the bottom. Alright, so now the next step, I'm actually going to put a little bit of backing. This is going to be for something in the future, but I want to do it now since it's opened up. This is going to possibly have a slider for a future mirror. So on top of this backing, I'm going to have a 2x4 that's going to be flush with the drywall. So I'm going to make sure that the backing is 1.5 inches down below the level of the sheetrock. I'm making sure that the 2x4 is level, and then I'm going to drive some drywall screws through the drywall right into that 2x4. And those screws will be just enough to hold that 2x4 in place. I'm also adding more screws up the side of the 2x4, the existing 2x4 that's there. so that the drywall is secure to it. Right here I'm adding another backer board on the top portion as well. Chances are I'll have another slider up top for the mirror that we're going to do in the future. So what we're thinking here is the back of the sheetrock is going to be the back of the built-in shelves. So we're just gonna smooth it out, patch any holes, and call it good. Okay, so I'm still working on the drywall. We decided that we wanted to do smooth wall and kind of reduce the texture that's in this room. So I'm just working on the walls around the built-in shelf that we're putting in. But it's taken some time to get these walls nice and smooth. So here's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of hard to see, but I think I have like one more layer to get these walls perfectly smooth. So you can kind of see here there's some texture that we've covered up. There's, I think one more layer will do it to cover up all that texture and smooth it out. We did this same wall finish in our girls' bedroom over existing wall texture and paint, and it turned out really well and we really liked it, so we decided we might have to just continue on in the spaces that we're remodeling throughout the house. It's going to take some time, but if we do it kind of one room at a time, in the end, when we're done with this house, it's gonna look really awesome. One thing that I've been using in between sanding, well, in between coats, I've been using this attachment to my vacuum. So it's got a sandpaper on it that's meshed, so it sucks the dust into the vacuum instead of having it go into the room or all over the house. So it's a really awesome tool. I love it. I use it all the time. This is a lifesaver. Keeps a lot of the dust down, especially in this small space. It's working really well. So here I'm sanding the third coat of plaster, and this is really the first time I've sanded the walls. This tool is really great because the dust is a lot less than it could be. And now I'm taking a really thin top coat on top of the stuff that I sanded to make sure that I get everything nice and smooth. And now I'm using a 10-inch knife on this fourth and final layer. And then I'll come back after that's dried the next day, and I'll sand the rest of that by hand with my drywall sponge and with the vacuum sander. I have a little light turned on from the floor pointing to the ceiling, and that helps me as I'm sanding to make sure that the wall is nice and smooth. So the next step for this project is I'm going to be building the shelves for the built-in, and then I'm going to install those in place, and you'll see that in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.